All right, we are live. We are live, everybody. Welcome to the MX Roundtable Show, brought to you by MXPTV and MotoXAddicts here. Doing an Indiana Walton recap from this past weekend. So we've got a lot going on. We got our crew down here as always. We got Dan Lamb over there, MotoXAddicts there,
What's up, guys?
and we got Chase Yocom down there as well from MotoXAddicts as well.
What's going on?
And missing the show tonight, Matt Rice not here. He just arrived in Utah for this weekend's national, so he's just landing getting in and can't be on the show. But other than that, we got quite a bit to talk about. I mean, we got Indiana national. I guess we'll start off with that. I mean, slight mutter, guys, from what I heard.
Yeah, slight might be a little bit of an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Chase was there at the race, so he was there at Indiana. All right, tell us what the experience was. We know the muddy part, but as far as walking around, things like that, how was Indiana overall?
Well, I got to the track about 8 o'clock in the morning. Went to will call, picked up my pass. Had to grab a couple passes for some of my buddies because it's hometown race. So of course, you get the people that hit you up. Hey, can you get me some tickets or yada yada yada? So ended up grabbing those passes, and as we were standing up there, I got to talk to Weston a little bit. He was pumped on the track from press day. He said they did throw a lot of sand, I think, down on the faces of the jumps. I don't know if he seemed too pumped about that, and he said they dug it really deep on Friday too. And then about that time while we were standing up there, the rain ended up coming in. So it started kind of sprinkling a little bit. It wasn't terrible at that point, and then got to the press tent and hung out there for a minute and walked out, and it was still kind of drizzling. Then all hell broke loose, and it was a downpour. So it was probably an hour, 2 hours, somewhere around there. We got a pretty heavy dose of rain, so it kind of jacked around with all the spectator viewing and the pits and all that stuff. So it definitely threw a little kink in the game plan for probably everybody. So, but the workers and stuff for their first national and the conditions that they did a great job. So, there's people out there throwing hay down on it, trying to dry it up a little bit and give people a little more traction. But man, it was rough. So that was kind of the experience of the fan or the media people walking around. So it definitely wasn't the most enjoyable, but hey, that's motocross. It's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what do you call it? Okay, say now if the track was dry. I mean, I know I seen some stuff from press day a little bit, but the track would have been pretty good for if it was dry conditions, right? You think, or?
Yeah, I think the people I talked to said that it was one of the better tracks they've ridden. They thought it flowed really good. The dirt normally is really good, unless you get a ton of rain on it. That kind of just changes everything. But yeah, it seemed like everybody was really pumped. I think the track has a ton of potential. There's there's elevation. There's it's a lot of natural terrain. Hills. Not man-built stuff, kind of like Utah. Really cool track. I'm excited, to go back there. Maybe this year I'll probably go to the Ironman, so I might be able to kind of walk the track a little bit there and get maybe a little bit better of a view and just pump for future races there. So I think there's a lot of potential, but when it rains, I mean it sits pretty low in the ground, so all that rain just kind of seems to flow down there. So it definitely made it a little bit difficult, but like I said, I mean the workers and stuff there, and Davey and all those guys put in a lot of effort, and it really paid off for them, and it definitely could have been a lot worse. So they did a great job with everything.
Well, we lost Matt for a minute there. I think he'll be right back. I think his browser crashed on him, but you went to Millville this year, so it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
I've only saw it on TV. Let me just say it like 5 times before I got it, but I only saw it on TV. But the way it came down, the level, the elevation went from flat to up. Did it kind of remind you the way the track flowed to Millville? I mean, before the mud.
Yeah, a little bit. I think Millville was a little bit more elevated, but it kind of had that kind of feeling, I guess, to it. Especially this year, man. Millville, they built I can't remember what they're calling it, Martin Mountain, or I think that's what it was called, or Mount Martin or whatever. They built that, you know, up even higher this year. Man, that I walked it one time and I was done. I was out of breath, and that was about it for me. So I definitely think Millville has a little bit more elevation. But I mean, if this track was dry, I think Millville probably was one of the riders' favorite tracks on the circuit this year. Yeah. I think if Indiana was dry, I think it would have been right up there with people saying that it was probably their favorite track. So kind of a bummer, but we'll see what ends up happening in future years. So I'm excited for it, and we'll hopefully have some good racing there for many more years to come. So it's awesome because it's my home national, and I can sleep in my own bed and get up, and I'm about 45 minutes away from it. So
before the race, Chase, was there anybody that was just like pumped that the race? I mean, because every time I go to a rain race, there's always like 2 or 3 people that are like, "Oh my God, bring more." Was there anyone that was doing a little bit of that as it was coming down?
You know, I'm not 100% sure because really a lot of the guys it seemed they were inside, and you know, you really didn't see a whole ton of them. You know, I talked with I saw Osborne for a minute. He kind of had that look on his face like, this might not be too good. He popped right over by me, but you know, everybody was kind of saying, you know, maybe Sipes with his kind of GNCC background that he might have been, you know, one of the favorites, and I think it kind of showed. You know, he rode great. Even in that second moto, he ended up kind of crashing, and whenever he was in third, and he just had such a big gap on everybody that, you know, he was able to get up and keep that position. And it was man, it was cool seeing him get that podium out there, just from, you know, being off of the MX circuit for, you know, most of this year, and to have him come back, and it almost seemed like it lit a spark under him. He was on the podium. He was like, man, I miss this. This is where I belong. So you never know. Like next year, maybe we'll see him back out there again.
Yeah, I was pumped. We got Matt back too down there, so I'll let him take it back over. But I was ecstatic. I was jumping out of my seat for Ryan. The first moto, he had the same deal too. The first moto, he was up there, looking really fast. I don't know what happened. I know he ended up in the mechanics area. Maybe you saw more, but I know he ended up having to change goggles. But he was up there. He had the speed to run top 5 there. He should have been on the podium overall. But yeah, next year, like you said, he's still eligible for 250, and I know he's talking to some teams for a 250 ride too, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him riding a Husky with Rockstar. I know that he's eligible. I know that they don't got anybody, but I know that's one of the teams he's had a brief conversation with, but I don't know where he's going to end up. But after that ride, I know he wants it back, and he's not Stone Age yet. He's not in his 30s yet. I don't think. I think he's late 20s.
No.
27, 20.
I think he's probably right around that age, I would think. I mean, 20, maybe 26, 27, somewhere around there. Yeah. I mean, still got plenty of time if he wants to. So, I mean, really, in talks with him, you know, I mean, really the reason for kind of stepping away was, you know, to be closer to family and stuff. So we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, I know he's got a kid on the way too, so that whenever that ends up, you know, happening, and when his wife has their baby, you know, that might change his mind again. But I don't know. Right now, I mean, he just, you know, with him up on the podium saying, you know, just this where he belongs, and, you know, he misses it, and, you know, I'd love to see him back out there. I'm a big fan of him. So
yeah. You back down there, Matt?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a browser issue, just ended up crashing on me, but all's good now, so that's good. That's as far as I mean, any guys, I mean, I was up in Canada last weekend for the Trans-Can up at Walton, and also for the Pro National as well. So I really didn't catch up too much in Indiana as far as it goes. With Dungey, I mean, what was his deal? I guess I should say. I mean, what was his? I mean, his day obviously wasn't that great, but talk about his motos there. I mean, what happened during his motos there?
I think at it, Chase. It just everything fell apart. I mean, one thing led to another, to another, to another, and I mean, the first moto he rode awesome. I mean, I don't know about the whole first turn thing. I don't know how good of a view you had of it. Looked a little fishy, but the second moto, it just looked like, I don't know, it looked like one of those days where you wish you could get back in bed and hit rewind. because he couldn't do anything. I mean, and then I don't know. When's the last time you've seen? I mean, nothing against Freddie, but Freddie was dead last, stuck in the gate, caught and passed Ryan Dungey. I just don't see this happening. I mean, what did you see? Is there anything you saw being there that? I mean, was there something wrong with his bike, him, anything in the Moto2, or was it just no goggles and frustration?
I thought he went down for a minute, but it might have been him actually just pulling in the pits. I can't remember. I didn't really have that good of a view, but I was trying to look at my phone and, you know, catch updates in sections I couldn't see. So I know at one point he ended up stopping back in and grabbing goggles. So I know he lost a lot of time there. But yeah, the starts, I mean, first moto, he got kind of, I don't know exactly what happened, but he was off the track and, you know, he was back a ways and he fought all the way back up, and Trey ended up, I think, going down whenever he was in second. So it kind of gave, you know, Dungey that, you know, second place there, just because Trey kind of, not to say that Dungey might not have caught him, but, you know, Trey going down kind of gave it away to Dungey. So, you know, he only lost 3 points there, but that second moto was just a disaster for him. So it, I mean, Dungey, he doesn't give up though. I mean, it wasn't like he was out there giving up. I mean, he just had some, you know, bad luck, goggles off. I mean, just a rough moto. I mean, if you didn't have goggles on, man, you were eating tons of dirt, and I mean, there's just dirt flying everywhere. So honestly, if you didn't have goggles, I don't know how those guys are even doing it. And I saw tons of guys out there doing it, so I was just amazed. But yeah, I'm with you, Freddie. Man, Freddie was. The crazy thing is, Freddie qualified like 40th too. So like I didn't think he was going to be that good. Man, he freaking came out there, and obviously he got stuck in the gate, I think, the first moto, and man, he put in a hell of a charge, and it was awesome to see. I mean, where the section where it was the uphill triple, he was coming out of from the back, and he was splitting guys on that. He had guys to his right and his left, and he was going straight up the middle and doing the double of the triple whenever everybody else was just singling. It was pretty cool to watch him go through the pack. So great rides for him. I was going to say Mitch Oldenburg, the first moto, I think he actually got the whole shot, I think it was, or he was second or something. He was riding freaking amazing, and he ended up having bike problems, and I think he was in the top 10 for sure. So that was a bummer for him, because ever since he's hopped on the 450 full privateer effort, he's been freaking killing it. So I don't know. I mean, those guys there, those were a couple rides that I was really impressed with, but I don't know. What else do you guys see from watching it on TV?
Can Roczen win the championship?
Yeah, I saw Nick Gaines was his first national, and did pretty good the first moto, right? Is it 250, right? He was in, or
yeah, he was 250. So
yeah, he ended up 15th overall. I mean, solid debut, especially. Yeah. I mean, he finished right behind Aldridge. Aldridge was 14th, and I think Aldridge has been the best rookie so far, the best Loretta graduate.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gaines was right there, but he was solid. I mean, he's been battling with those kids week in and week out at Loretta's, and he's kind of like where Will Hahn was with the Austin Stroops and the Trey Canards. And Nick Gaines has kind of always been that next guy. I'm sure you've probably seen him live a lot more than any of us.
Yeah, it's cool for Nick to see him up there. I mean, it was from what I've seen from results and whatever else and stuff. But I mean, I've seen him around for years. Obviously, at the amateur races, always doing really well. And he had a bad get off at Daytona this year too. It was like he was in the hospital for I think a day or two or something. So, so he's overcame some injuries this year, and to see him do well even there at Indiana. I mean, yeah, mod whatever, but first national, 15th overall. I mean, that's a good weekend there.
I think he was like 11th in the first moto too. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So
that's why I noticed. I saw the first moto was really good. So
yeah, I didn't even know he was racing for a little bit, and then I actually was roaming through the pits and stopped by the Traders Racing guys. Set up and started talking to them, and I saw Gaines come up, and it took me a minute. I was like, who's this kid? Because he had some Monster logos on his jersey and stuff, but and then it all of a sudden clicked. I was like, oh, that's Nick Gaines. So great rides for him. So I mean, it's cool seeing a kid like that get a shot with traders, and it's cool that traders, can get a guy like Nick Gaines, who I think was one of the top amateur guys coming out. So good deal for both of those, team and for Nick. So
yeah. I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, shoot, I talked to guys from traders, a good amount of time and stuff. They're out of the area and stuff from where I'm at in Delaware, Maryland area, and didn't even know the Nick Gaines situation there. So that's cool that they're helping him out, at least I guess just for this round, I guess, and stuff. So I don't know if the team's going to Utah, but
they're going to Utah. So
they're going. Okay.
Yep.
Good deal. So I mean, it was
culture shock for guys like Gaines, who have been top amateurs. Always, he's always had decent rides, and the minute they go pro, it's just he's privateer profile.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's that. I mean, or you had your RJs and your Branson's borderline, I guess, with his ride too. So I mean, that they've got rides now, and Aldridge too. So I mean, I
think Rensland's pretty similar to where Gaines is, where he's got a little ride to get him through the year, but nothing solves for 15 yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Luke almost raced Unadilla last year, so I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
And he had no ride lined up, nothing lined up. So he just like, screw it. He was there watching, but he wasn't. I don't think he had a bike there even too. Just had nothing lined up.
Is Aldridge for sure next year on Pro Circuit? Or is that still?
He's signed.
He is. Okay.
Yeah. I would assume if it's with Mitch Pro Circuit, I'm sure he's gonna probably be there more than a few races. So.
Yeah. He went down a couple times, so man, he was freaking fast though. I mean, I thought I was more impressed with him than I was like Hampshire or Rensland or any of those guys. I mean, he looked freaking fast.
He's by far to me the biggest, I guess I don't know, up and comer that's in this crew as far as I'm concerned. I know RJ had him handled at Loretta's, but I believe Chris had him handled it at a few other events this year. Had RJ handled, so it's been back and forth. But I don't know. There's something about Chris. He's always been he's always had a huge heart, and I expected him to do well in the mud. I was actually surprised he didn't do better. He's from Oregon, so I mean we get quite a bit of this stuff. So and I'm kind of biased. I mean the kids.
Understandable.
No, you what? Come on.
the kid's gnarly. But no, I expect I'm actually been really surprised with RJ. I did expect more out of him. I know a lot of people were turned off by him with his statements in his interview, but he's just a kid, and he doesn't really know what he's talking. And I'm sure, I do these interviews, and a lot of times it's, what's said between the two, the peer person interviewing and him on an over-the-phone type interview, which I believe this was at the time. Or maybe Ouija did it at Loretta's, but I just think he was maybe a little pumped, got the Horizon Award, was feeling really good. I don't think he meant that he's going to go out and win, but a lot of people took it that way. So there's a lot of people that are kind of happy he's not doing well because he talks so much game before he came up, I guess you'd say.
Yeah,
kind of like the Alessi approach.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different approach there.
He didn't make shirts.
Yeah. Right. But at least I mean RJ's even the past year with RJ, even a year and a half, 2 years. He's been on just a steady confidence level right now. It's just every year just getting better and better. Like Minio's last year, killed it there, just on fire there. That I remember. I mean,
Monster Cup.
Monster Cup too. I mean, I just all these races he's done really well at. It just seemed like, and then obviously the fall, the spring nationals, things like that he did and stuff, and it was just on and on and on, just these winning races. So he's good to be confident. I mean, I know he didn't probably want to feel like he was gonna get, to me, I think, he was saying he would get podium or something like that, which I can understand that. Yeah, I mean, I can, just from the confidence he has leading up to it, he figured he can be right in the mix. But I don't think we're used to that either because we haven't really seen a rider out of Loretta's that's saying, oh, well, I can podium, or something, or I can, get up there. So I think it was just different for everybody too, just to hear that. Usually it's like, oh, top 20, it'll be good. And I mean, Matt Bisceglia, who's Verizon War last year, he was, maybe top 20, most of the motos I think it was, and that was it. I mean, kind of right where Aldridge is right now, I guess. So
yeah,
or Shane McElrath even last year too. So it was, they're right in that mix there. So
yeah, it was weird because last year, McElrath almost, I think he ended up beating Bisceglia in like most of the motos after they graduated, but Bisceglia dominated them at Loretta's, and it's almost the same thing now. Like Hampshire dominates Loretta's, but like Aldridge comes out, and I think he's beat him at in I think most of the motos, if not all 4 of them so far. So
yeah, but then also
weird how that works.
But also like Loretta's though, I mean Aldridge and Hampshire didn't really battle too much as far as I know. Usually Hampshire had starts all week long, and he was just that was it.
Aldridge didn't have the speed. Yeah, RJ had flat out speed and starts all week.
Yeah. Except the only rider really we kept with him, I remember, was the last 258 moto, I think it was, and that was Renzlen.
Yeah.
I mean that Renzlen was on his tail that whole moto, and he was just on it. So yeah, I think he's that's kind of who I expected to get up there too and do that, but
yeah.
Well, neither Renzlen or Hampshire scored any points last weekend, but I think all the amateurs are going to do a little bit better this weekend. I think Utah's a track that's going to suit them better, all man-made, flat surface. I think it's going to be a little closer to what they're used to coming up as amateurs. I think Utah's got more that feel.
It could be, I guess, like a train facility track, almost like it's Utah's like it's all flat. First of all, everything's all built up.
Yep.
MTF's the same way, and not really club. South of the border's flat too. Everything's built up there, so it's more of a built-up type of track. So yeah, you're right, Dan. I think on that, just as far as where they've trained mostly, things like that.
Yes, I was right.
Then as far as Renzlen goes, he's got the Dreamland place, which that place is just beyond video game level. So it's just
but that's all built up too, right? That's pretty.
It's built up. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of dug-in spots too. But yeah, pretty much built up. But it's in Florida, so it's definitely built up.
Yeah,
I remember.
I remember cool.
It used to be a quad riders training facility or something.
Oh, probably yeah. I don't know as far as the past of it, but
I wanted that place so bad. It was only like $250,000, and it's like 30 acres and like a little 1,500 square foot house. Man, I was so ready to grab the wife and move.
Nice.
But yeah, beyond that, I mean, it's Jeremy Martin won the championship. I guess we gotta touch on that. Congrats to Jeremy Martin. 3 races early, just basically a smooth, consistent moto in Moto 1, second place. Blood Baggett had issues, Webb had issues, and Jeremy Martin basically finished like he started. It's been an incredible year. The kid was definitely the best all year. I don't think any of us can argue that. Did any of you have any clue? Did any of you think Jeremy Martin would be our champion at the end of this year?
I had a pick early this year, big time. Totally. Says nobody.
I had a picked early this year too, but it was for Supercross. I got it wrong. Damn it.
I'll tell you this. His second half of the year has been just. I don't know if I mean, as far as long I've been in the sport, I mean, anyone that's turned it around from not qualifying for Supercrosses, things like that, and then just lay wood on the freaking outdoors. It's just unbelievable. I'm beyond impressed with what he's done this summer. It's almost like you still almost can't believe that he did that. Where he's clinched the title. We still got 2 more motos left to go, and he's or was it 3 motos left? He still clinched it. So, if someone said that back before Glenn Helen, I mean, man, whatever that drug is, man, we gotta find out. But I mean, holy crap, no one would have picked that. So
don't open that can of worms, Matt.
yeah, drug ring, blah 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 blah. We know. So, but yeah, it's just. Blown away. I'm blown away. I mean, Jeremy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jeremy is absolutely really fast as he is. Works his tail off, things like that. I mean, obviously that's obviously there. But yeah, just even right now, I'm like, I'll go to Utah. I'll be like, oh damn, he won the title last week. And I'm like, freaking, I don't know. So it's insane how that all happened. And well, I know his mechanic. Richard Sterling, or Pedro, as everyone calls him. He's, I'm stoked for him too as well. Mentioned for him, and he kind of came up. He worked with Thomas Covington as an amateur, and kind of worked his way up. He actually worked with Chris Blows, I think, last year. So now he's got to the point where he's got he's working with a championship rider right now. I think that's awesome for him too. So but overall for the team, everybody, pure thumbs up right there.
Do you guys think it matters? Do you think any Baggett, Cooper Webb, or Marvin Musquin, or there's only 7 points between them going into Utah for second place? Do you think there's like a little race there, or do you think it's just about the championship and second doesn't matter?
I don't know. What do you think, Chase?
I think Marvin's going to be going after it for sure. I mean, all year, starting the year off as, as rough as he did with his, stuff coming off his knee injury and, popping his shoulder out and stuff, to be in the position to possibly grab second the championship. I mean, shit, I don't think he would have ever thought that. So I would think that he is just going to be absolutely going for it. And I would think that Cooper, too, is, in that mindset. He doesn't want to back down from anybody. He just wants to go out there and win. And I don't know. Baggett, I don't know about him. I mean, it just seems like he's just kind of, after he had a bad race or two and the championship was kind of out of sight, I feel like it's just been a different Baggett. So
yeah,
you never know from him, I guess. But shit, he could drop the hammer and leave everybody in the dust of Utah. So I mean, he has that type of speed, and we'll see what happens, I guess. But I think Marvin and Cooper seem to be kind of the guys that are really just going for it right now at this point.
I agree with Marvin that he cares too. In Europe they have the vice champion title, and I believe it's into their bonus structure. So I don't think it is here, because I don't think they carry that over. But yeah, I do. I agree. I think Marvin, of those three, I think Marvin is the one that's gonna come trying to win something.
Yeah, I don't think there's actually like a gas card for second in the championship. So that type of thing. But for Marvin it'll be great, and I think these still three are gonna go at it for second, just because,
it's a pride thing.
Well, there's a pride thing too, but you're only good as your last race, so
yeah.
Finish on an exclamation point, and if the riders are looking for deals, I know what Blake's in the kind of the middle of something. I guess I don't think he's doing Pro Circuit next year or whoever. I don't know what's going on with him, but again, leave on a high note, or if you're leaving the team, if things like that or something like that, you want to leave on a high note. So, same thing with 450. I'm sure Roczen's going to probably be, leaving on a high note, I would say, and obviously championship-wise, obviously, but, still, I think it's that last round where everyone, privateers all the way up, they're going to be like, this has got to be, that race where everyone kind of remembers, like, oh, that happened, because back in Redbud, who knows who went from 36 to 6th or something like that. No one's going to really remember that too much. So that's how I see it.
I don't know if we go ahead, if you're going to talk about Baggett, and then I had something else to bring up.
Oh, no, I was going to say I heard Baggett might be looking for an MX2 job over in Europe. I don't know what the deal is, and I don't know how anybody could really want him. I mean, he's a great rider, obviously, but as bad as he's done it at Motocross the Nations in Europe, and especially in the sand, I don't know how well he'd fit over there. But yeah, I hear that there's a lot of interest in him over there. But yeah, I hear, like Matt said, I hear Pro Circuit is Ixnay on the next year.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up. I don't think we talked about Jesse Nelson, but man, he freaking.
Oh geez, yeah.
He was hauling. I mean, that first moto was awesome. I mean, whole shot from start to finish for your first ever win. I mean, that's the way to do it right there. So, he's kind of had an up and down season, but man, he freaking put it together that first moto, and he had Jeremy on him for a little while, and then he just gapped him. So that was cool to see, and I really thought it was going to happen again the second moto, but I think he ended up having some issues, and I can't remember if he went down or not, but finished a little bit further back. But man, what a freaking day for him.
Yeah, so I heard. Yeah, I did hear he won the first moto, right? And yeah. So I mean, awesome. And he almost had the overall, you said, right? I think, or something. So
he got third. I think he got 8th the second moto. So it kind of took him back. I can't remember if he actually went down, or I think he went down. Something ended up happening to him, but I mean, he was out front, early, and then Savatgy too. I mean, he freaking rode great. 4-3 for second overall, I think. So I mean, he definitely deserves mention because I mean that was his first overall podium I think in his career, and he's coming off injuries too. So I mean he seems to be getting back up to speed, and he rode great. So that was cool seeing those guys kind of get their first taste of the podium, and those are probably a couple of the guys that here the next year or two. I mean they'll be the ones running up towards the front more often I think.
Yeah. Well, Jesse's now. This is what, I guess, third year in 250s, I think, or second year, or third year, or something.
Third. Yeah, remember they brought him in early.
Yes.
Yeah, he had an injury. I forget who it was, and they brought him up.
Yeah. So I mean that's awesome. Awesome for him, and hopefully he finishes off. I mean, Indiana was great, but hopefully he finishes off strong in Utah and see where it goes for him. So awesome.
Yeah, second moto was I thought he was going to do it again. He grabbed the whole shot, like Jay said. He just fell over a little bit, but it was just enough to break up his momentum. He got up just in front of Savaji, and then it took him a while to get his bearings back from his little tip over. Savaji ended up getting him. He controlled the overall for much of the race, but then it just kind of fell apart for him. It looked I guess kind of similar to Colorado, but it fell apart really bad, and somehow he ended up holding on to a podium.
Yeah,
it was like I think either 2.9 or 1.9 or 1.8. And it was a really weird scoring day. The 3-4 for second, 1-8 for third, and then Musquin was I think 3-1,
3-1 or something. I think man, that first moto, those last two laps for Jesse Nelson had to have felt like an eternity because those lap times were like three plus minute long. So I mean, normally they're somewhere in like the lower 2 range, and he had to hold on those last two laps there for about 7 minutes or so probably. So
there's no way
it was cool.
No, he's still at a podium because I was doing math trying to figure it out. I had no idea who the podium was.
Yeah.
His pitboard guy might have been better than me at it though.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more so for the first moto when he was leading it though. Those last couple laps there. But I don't know. I still seeing it as a bummer that he ended up kind of falling off there at the end, though.
Yeah, Jeremy clinching the championship in Moto 1 didn't hurt Jesse either. I mean, Jeremy kind of go and it was kind of doing his own. Not taking anything away from Jess, but yeah, it was Jeremy's like go. I got this.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I think a championship's better than a moto win there, but yeah, the results sounded like a C class result finish from Loretta's. It almost sounded like just kind of wacky and all over the place.
Yeah, it was all. I was trying to figure it out. I tweeted the overall with like a big unofficial next to it because I had no idea. I actually got it right though.
Okay.
But it took me a while.
You're on it. Got the overalls. It's all good. So, anything else about Indiana or?
Well, we still haven't really covered Roczen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what now? He's got a 20-point lead now. It is, Dan, or?
Yeah.
20-point lead. Momentum back in his corner. I mean, he can pretty much go, I think, 6-5 if Ryan wins, something like that. I don't know anybody that can stop that from happening except for maybe the mud that's coming. But Roczen starts have been so great all year. I don't think anything's gonna stop him. What's crazy is we did a poll before Indiana. And 82% of the people said Ryan Dungey was going to win. He's 7 points down with 4 motos to go, and over 80% thought he was going to win. If we did a poll now, obviously it would be 95% the other way. But It's just weird that how many people had written Roczen off, and really all he had to do was do what he did this week in the first moto, carry 10 points, 7 points. It's just there's not enough people in there to really keep it one bad moto.
I understand why they vote that. I mean, I would think that right after I was at Unadilla. I saw that. I was like, he's inching up and doing his thing. It's obviously he's solid all the time and no matter what. And Roczen's past has always been the last half of the season. It's kind of like, what's going on with him? So just judging off all that, I definitely understand that. Now, obviously, it's kind of 180 now to where it's Roczen's kind of now on the point now where he can, make a title happen for him this weekend. So I mean, it makes it interesting, and that'll be the most interesting class of the day. So be good.
It was beginning to remind me of the Ryan Dungey because really Ryan's really never. I'm trying to think. Won a close championship. I mean, every championship he's won outdoors pretty much been going away. except for the Porcel deal. But Porcel obviously had a DNF, helped him out. But it was the same thing. Dungey was starting to come on, starting to close the deal. So it was kind of reminding me of that. But I don't know. I for some reason really felt Roczen was going to get this done. He really only had to put away one moto.
Yeah, and there's so much momentum. I think so much, ease on Roczen too, because his worst finish this year, I think, has been a fourth. Twice, I think it was, or something like that. So he's sitting pretty good. I mean, like I said, if he goes 4-4 or 5-5, whatever it is, I mean, Dungey sweeps, he's still got it. So
he's a champ, yeah.
So that's awesome.
And he's done it before. I mean, he is a world champ, so he does know how to finish these things. So, yeah, we'll see. I would much rather see a red, white, and blue going, but Roczen's earned it, and now we have to deal with all the Euros with the Euro dominance, and now they've taken over our 450 class.
and then we got guys talking about going GPs next year, like Blake and others. So.
Yeah, this is getting weird. I don't like it. Jeff Meyer over at that other site over in Europe is starting to smile, and probably going to be on Vital any day now.
Hey, but well, we'll talk later too, but I think we're going to see some U.S. riders go to Canada more, so we'll see.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't talk about Kennard, though. Kennard got a win, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the KYB, or
yeah.
It's all about suspension. Yeah.
He probably had a good shot at the overall too, but he went down the first moto whenever he was in second place. So, kind of a bummer for him. He hadn't been able to put two together to get an overall, but he was freaking riding really good. And then I guess another thing we didn't really talk about was the controversy over the qualifications too. I mean, there's a lot of people that were really pissed off because the first practice that went out on the track was the 450B guys, and the track at the time was way better for them than it was for the 450A guys. And we had like 15 or 20 guys out of the B practice end up qualifying for the 450 main. So it you got Weston, like somebody like Weston Pike, who I don't even think put in a lap, but he got in the main because of the provisional. So it that was interesting.
Them provisional. Them provisional.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the first time it's happened, Chase, and I know.
Oh yeah.
Being from the East, Matt will remember. Who was the guy that qualified #1 at Southwick in 2000? I think 11 or 12.
Mike Satil.
Mike Satil. Yep.
Same deal. He had a way better track.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that too. I mean, it helps. It's sometimes beef practice is A practice is sometimes A practice sometimes better. Obviously, track gets worked in. You're riding with faster riders, but also B practice you get into. First-hand account. Tyler, my brother, we made it in last at Unadilla, so made his first national there. Got 29th fastest time. Made it out of the first B practice. So
yeah,
so it's I've seen it. Because sometimes in B practice, sometimes in A practice, you don't have, riders could just have lines screw up and have flags, things like that, just like B practice. But obviously in A practice, they're gonna go faster. So to me, it really don't matter what practice it is, but yeah, like if track was better for Indiana for the first session, so you're gonna see that, and it's like it's the Southwick effect, I guess you call it, and all those guys get in.
Does anybody know who Austin Wagner is?
I know he qualified second. That's all I know.
Did he qualify second or did he qualify third? Because I think Roczen qualified second. I think he qualified third.
Second. He qualified second. Roczen was third by about half a point.
Yeah, maybe that was what it was.
Yeah, Roczen was third. Then Prisco Proskell, Todd Krieg, all these guys before Tony Archer, Colton Eck, Cody Van Biersik, and then Trey Kennard in ninth.
Yeah.
It was a good day to be in B practice.
Dude, like, I have no idea, though, like, how Eli Tomac apparently got a 302. Like, dude, there's no way. Like, I don't know how he was – I don't know. Maybe there is a way, but
– He did it.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, my mind's just blown, if it really ended up happening, like, my mind's just blown because – seeing the other guys out there, just
then you have
the track was way worse.
Factory riders like Brayton and Weimer qualified in 34th and 37th.
Yeah, Noren was in 40th.
Yeah. Well, it was also, I heard that when I looked up, I think Striker got booted out because of Pike's provisional. From what I heard.
I'm not sure, but like somebody was saying that they thought Norton was top 10 in the points at the time, which I couldn't remember if he was like, I knew he was somewhere around like 11th or something. I wasn't sure he was 10th, but at the time, like people were thinking maybe he was going to be the one that was going to get booted because of Pike's provisional. Pike didn't even, I don't think, ride one lap in the practice. So,
wow.
I mean, it's smart for Pike. Man, if you can do that, and he got to ride press. That's what he's saying. He got to ride press day, and so he's already been on the track and stuff, and not going out there and have to, possibly blow through your motors or whatever, and maybe it was smart for him, and obviously he rode well too through the day, but I don't think a lot of people were really that happy about it, and honestly, he probably doesn't give a shit, to be honest. So,
right.
I know.
It's Pike.
Berluti liked it. Didn't have to watch the bike. Yeah, that's funny. It's one of those things. I mean, mud is, everybody's mad that mud played a role in a championship. There's this stuff. I mean, mud has been part of the sport since it started. It's one of my favorite parts of the sport. So yeah, I mean, they're going to get this stuff, but I was surprised to see Pike not out there, and I would expect him to be the guy to just go for it.
Did you see that picture of his front tire after the motos, though?
No, I did see that. Yeah, that was.
Dude, I have no idea how he rode with that. It was unreal.
Before we move on to Walton, let's talk about Chad Reed. Did he look like he looked like he was having fun to me? Did he look like that to you, Chase, watching him?
Yeah, no, I thought. I mean, he rode, in my opinion, really well. Based off of the other performances this season. I mean, he
6'7", I think, or 5'6", like that.
I mean, he seemed like he was having fun. So I mean, good for him. I mean, it's always good seeing the 2-2 running up a little bit closer to the front. So
he looked like he was loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't remember, like, in the past if Reed's been a good mud guy or what, but something clicked for him this weekend, and he was definitely running up a lot further towards the front than some of the guys that had been beating him. But maybe that's just the experience factor that Chad Reed brings to the table. He's been in those conditions, umpteen times. So, but yeah, I mean, good seeing Reed happy and.
Do you think it may have been maybe he just had another kid and stuff, and I guess kind of some shoulders are kind of not much weight on him because obviously been the last few weeks, the last month has been pretty hectic, I would assume.
Yeah.
So maybe that may have played a factor, maybe because it was just like, got another kid now, everything's all kind of organized instead of it was before. So
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know
if you ask Reed. It's all about the bike setup and the Pirellis.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't really get a good look at his bike, but I know he posted pictures up about testing spring forks. So maybe he was on springs, and obviously he switched tires from Dunlops to Pirellis too, and I don't know.
Yeah, at this level, I don't know how these guys run on anything they're not comfortable with. Especially someone like Reed. I don't know why. If he loves springs and it's been obvious forever, he's not been in love with air forks since they've come out. I would just throw them away. Go with the spring. I mean, the guy is so much into comfort and bike. If he rode spring this week and got 6th overall, the guy needs to stay on it. I love Reed doing well.
I mean, like if he was. I don't know how much help he's, getting from Cowie, if he's really getting, a whole ton or not. But, I mean, normally the factory guys, they're going to be getting the pressure to be running all the new stuff. But, with him running his own team, you'd think that he'd be able to do, run whatever he wanted. So, I don't know.
I think it's a lot less than we think. I think he does have to do a lot of what other people do. I mean, just from
probably
what I've seen, yeah, I think it's a lot less than we think, his team and as much his sponsor's team as anything. But yeah, he rode well. I think it's awesome to see him back up there. Yeah, I know his fans loved it
well, it shows that he's a good rider too. He's still a good rider. He has suspension, wheels, whatever, tires, whatever. He's still a really good rider. So
yeah,
that makes sense right there.
So do we all think Roczen's going to clinch it this weekend?
Well,
Yeah.
what other weekend is he gonna clinch it?
Very good.
Well,
Sorry, I had to
We're
throw
all in
that one.
agreement that Roczen win this.
well played. Well played.
Well played.
Yeah, that ball's in Roczen's court right now. So.
Yeah. Something's gonna have to, go way wrong. So, like I think you said, Dan, earlier, fourth has been his worst finish all year or something. So, I mean, something's gonna have to happen.
Yeah. That was Matt that said that. He was right.
Yeah.
Everybody's right. Everybody's right. So.
All right, well, let's move on to Walton, dude. Tell us about your sick time up north.
All right. Well, for most that don't know, for people that don't know, I went up to Canada last weekend. Went up to Walton, and for the final round of the Roczen Energy Drink Nationals up there, and it's been an interesting season up there. Obviously, I've been following the action. It's obviously the kind of, for the pros at least, the build up to it has been pretty much insane. If pretty much the stuff that was happening in Canada happened in the U.S., holy crap, it would be there. Drug rings may actually exist. I don't know, but it's been some crazy times up there, and I mean, it was the pro race on Sunday was, I mean, not a lot of battling, just a bunch of clinching titles. That's about it. But yeah, for me, I drove up on Thursday. Actually made a stop at Niagara Falls, shot some waterfalling, what we do, and it was a lot of fun. And then actually Friday and Saturday, it was the last couple days of the Transcan race up there, and which is basically Canada's version of Loretta Lynn's. So, and the program they ran up there, I mean, I've heard about the race for years, just never had an opportunity to go until last weekend. And the race they ran up there, the whole crew up there, up at Walton up there, Brett and the crew up there, they did an amazing job up there as far as what I saw. They ran motos time just like Loretta's does, throughout the week, all bunch of range of classes, things like that. And, the award ceremony was as top-notch as it can be. It was a nice big barn area, and it was just, a lot of people, a lot of the place was packed. I mean, it was really cool. And they ran a flawless program. I mean, the track there is way better than Loretta's. I mean, I even had some of the Canadian media guys I know that came up to me, Billy Rainford and even Ryan Gold, a couple of those guys. They come up to me and they're asking, "Is this track better than Loretta's?" I'm like, "It's a billion times better than Loretta's." I mean, Walton is so much larger. There's some elevation going on, not too much. You're basically in flat farm fields, but you do have your rolling hills, dips, downs, things like that. Whoop section they had, I think they call it the 9 Commandments or something like that. It wasn't full 10, but they had, I guess it's Canadian, whatever it is. So, and but like the track, just challenging. It's a very challenging track. I mean, it's a track that will definitely beat you up, just like the Rez is. But I think they have a natural double jump. It's almost like a gravity cavity type section where you just drop down and you jump out. It's actually a bigger leap than gravity cavity is actually Unadilla. So. Track was just top notch. Some rain came in Saturday afternoon that made the pro practice and the qualifying. Well, basically, they run actually up there on Sunday. Everything's one day up there for the pros on Sunday. So, also it's nice about this race too with the Transcan race. The Transcan race runs from, I believe, Wednesday to Saturday, and then they have the Pro National, the final round of the Pro National on Sunday. So. It's not just your normal amateur day before a pro national like it in the States is. It's actually, a full amateur national. Like you have Loretta Lynn's plus a pro national at the last day. So it's a really, really cool weekend week there to just for any racer or fan that wants to race and get involved. But they actually had an amateur open race moto go on in between motos too as well. They were supposed to they actually have one for amateur bikes for big bikes, and they have one for youth. The youth they didn't run because of the mud and everything they had in the morning, Sunday morning. So they usually run 20 minutes of practice, MX1, MX2, unseated and seated, and they run practice, none of it's timed, and then they do a whole nother session, unseated, seated, MX1 and 2, all timed for 20 minutes each. So it's a very similar program, but you don't have two time qualifiers. You have practice and you have qualifying, and then there's an LCQs that go on, and then it's right to the races, so to the main motos up there. So for people that don't know the Canadian format too well on that, but just a really, really exciting weekend up there. I had a lot of fun. everyone at the hospitality up there was great. I mean, I stayed at the track for 2 nights and right in my van that I have, so I mean, it was definitely roughed a little bit, and just overall a great weekend. Definitely good plan to do more up there, more races up there, hopefully. But I gotta thank Ryan Gall for setting everything up for me up there too. Kind of because I didn't know who to go to up there for anything. I mean, I had I had Tony Alessi kind of not really bothering, but he was asking me quite a bit about going up there. So but I wanted to go up there anyway just to check it out. And I had a weekend open. I was like, I really want to check this out. And like I said, Ryan Gall from Guaranteed MX up there. He does the announcing up there, obviously for Canadian TV and the races itself, and hooked me up definitely on that. And at least the contacts and everybody else actually met JSR up there, John Sebastian Waugh, and the whole KTM crew and stuff. So it was really cool. And they had a KTM spaghetti dinner and stuff, so I had dinner free one night, so that was cool. And it was definitely an awesome weekend, and definitely do more. But yeah, as far as the racing goes on Sunday, I mean, from what I heard, from what I noticed too, probably most boring Canadian race of the year. It sounded like it didn't have, you didn't have all the excitement like Overton last weekend. You had,
yeah,
where you had Freezy just going nuts. Well, the whole series, but at least there was even things where I saw where like I think it was like Tony was on the gate with him, and Tony's going like this to him, like like giving him some weird signs and stuff, like to pump Vince up and everything. And I mean, just did not really care much about all, and just tried to make up as much points as he can on Kevin Benoit in the MX2 class. So, and I mean,
any residual effects at all from last week, or that you saw were the officials on the lookout? Were the riders warned before this weekend to keep it down? Because it was, for those of the people that don't know, it was pretty crazy the week before. I mean, where there was Kevin Benoit's brother taking Vince Freeze out and on a sight lap, then Vince Freeze hitting Benoit, or I don't know how, I think it's Benoit or Benoit, and a lot of craziness, and lining up next to him. Were they warned? Was there anything that you heard from the officials up there going into this week?
I heard the riders they definitely made it clear about at least the track cut and stuff. I mean, made that clear. It was like, you do any track cut and that's it. No second chances on that. That's it. So that was pretty clear. And I assume, they're definitely, there were plenty of officials there. They're definitely keeping an eye on everything, especially staging area too, just because that's kind of where a lot of things spark it up. And then obviously by the moto wise, it's you escalate from there. But yeah, they're definitely keeping an eye out. Definitely, there's definitely there's more excitement in the series now. It seems like Canadian series seem like just kind of not too much excitement, but Moto Concepts guys come in and kind of stir up a little bit, keeps kind of the officials in check. It seems like so, and yeah, but that's Alessi's anywhere really, to be honest with you. But just how they operate. But like they were keeping an eye on it definitely. And but as far as the racing wise, just Kevin Benoit took home the MX2 title up there. He actually clinched it in the first moto, and Freezy came out the overall win, I believe. I think it was.
Yeah.
And then MX1, Alessi got the overall, and the King of Walton, which is basically the top rider of Walton pretty much. So he ended up winning the MX1 class, and Colton Fasciotti won his 4th title up there. So so Canadians won the the only Americans coming up with Josh Hill, Bobby Kay, and Alessi, and all, a lot of Americans that go up there. There's still two Canadian riders that won titles up there. So
yeah,
they're quick. And Kevin, I've heard of Kevin for years. I remember seeing him in an amateur race. Actually, I raced at Overton back in 2001. It was, and I remember him on if it was 1215 Super Mini or 711. I forgot. He was on 80s, and I remember him. He was just hauling tail up there. That was like his home track up there too. So. To see him win a title too, it was pretty cool. Besides seeing where he came from, from the time I saw him, 13 years ago. So, but yeah, he's actually the first rider in Canada. I don't think it's the world. I don't know if you think, but at least in Canada, first rider to win a title racing a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke. He finished out on the 252-stroke. He rode the first 4 rounds on 250F, and then he rode the last 6 on the 252-stroke. So the track's more east, more sandier, kind of more loamier.
Yeah.
So that kind of I guess made it better suited for the two-stroke. It seemed like so, and then he rode the first 4 rounds on the four-stroke, which all West Coast rounds, and that's just been notoriously hard pack over there. So, but I did hear some problems with the 250F. I've heard early on, and just making the switch to the two-stroke to make things kind of simpler and nothing crazy. So, but it was really cool to see two Canadians get up there win it, despite the competition that was coming in, and it again a great weekend. Just again, thanks for the people that were track owners to the series, and everything for all the support and up there as well. So just like I said, just drive up to America, about 10, 11-hour drive for me just to go wing up there and cover some races. It was I wasn't there for any other reason other than just covering it. So it was cool to see that, and definitely back for more next year. So
do you think we'll ever see the 252 strokes in the 250F class in the U.S. at all, or?
Well, I'll tell you this: the MX2 up there, I'd say it was it might have been close to half of the class was on two-stroke, 252 stroke in that class. Like there was a lot of them out there, especially obviously in the back a little bit, but even up front, like obviously Cavan was on two-stroke, but there's other riders I'm trying to think of off the top of my head right now, but they were on two strokes as well, and them doing well. So, and the type of track Walton was, especially how it got tight, it was very, with the rain that came in, the track, from what I saw, from when I've been to races, it's probably the most rutted track I have ever seen. It was like 10, 20 lines in every corner. I don't know. It was just straightaways even. It was pretty insane how that track was, how it formed like that after the rains from the day before. So, but as far as coming into the States, that's, I'm sure the guys two-stroke motocross could figure it out and whatever. But I mean, I don't know. It's again, that comes down to an ODM thing. It just up in Canada too. It is so relaxed up there. I wouldn't say there's no restrictions, but there's a lot less of them up there. Let's put it that way. Hence why probably Alessi's up there, because it's pretty much he can do what he wants and do what they want, and within reason. So most of the time. And but besides, I mean, there's been plenty of them, plenty of two-strokes out there. I mean, the MX2. I mean, it was nice. No, it was nice hearing that. So, but I don't know about US. That's again, it seems like it's more. I mean, going from a Canadian round to a U.S. round just feels so controlled and regulated, almost seems like, than up there. So that's what it seems like to me.
We're not getting that the two-stroke video from last weekend.
What's that?
We're not getting another tell the two-stroke video from last weekend.
Well, maybe a raw video, but nothing. I mean, tell two-stroke, that's a whole nother story. So, but
Earlier, Matt, you hinted towards some U.S. riders, possibly more of them going to Canada.
There has been more interest. I know that's Canada Series has kind of been like the land of misfit factory riders, I guess, from the U.S. that go up there. So it's another series. I mean, it's like GPs, GPs. So you have riders talking about going GPs. There's riders talking about going to Canada, and a lot of people like it. A lot of pros like it up there just because, yes, they do run the same amount of time, same time type of program, obviously, as the U.S. does, but you're not live TV. It's not back-to-back-to-back motos. Like there was like 20-minute breaks between the pro motos and stuff. So it was, you had like there was times where after a race I went back to the van, did a little photo work, blah 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 blah, video work, whatever, download some footage, and had plenty of time and get helmet cam on a rider and for the next moto. I mean, it was, there's a lot of time that that's there. So
the program is way too fast nowadays. It's boom, 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 boom.
It really is. It really is fast. Given that I was at this round, it was a slow start because of the mud, so you didn't have practice at all. So there was it went from qualifying 4 sessions. I think there was only one LCQ because I think there was enough in 250. I think there was more in 450 than there wasn't more in MX1 than MX2. So yeah, I went from 4 sessions of practice, 1 LCQ, and 4 motos, and that was it. So
what was the competition like up there in the amateurs? Was there any American talent up there, or how would you compare it? I mean, you've done all the major. Here.
Up there, I mean, there's a handful of Americans up there. There's not as much as there's not much as probably maybe some people think. I know 150 rider in the 4 to 6 class, Mason Tucker. He's out of this area. He actually swept all 3 motos up there in the 50 class. So I did it. I'm at least one American I know won a title up there. Oh, Josh Cartwright was up there as well. He won a class or 2 up there, I believe. He did really well up there, and I think he actually raced the pro program the next day.
I saw that. Looking at this,
yeah, he was up there in MX2. That's right. He was up there. Even Marshall Walton too. I mean, I think that was his first Canadian Pro National, I think, up there, and 3rd overall. So I mean, it was cool to see that. A couple of MX rider up there, so that was good. And yeah, as far as the amateurs for the Transcan, I mean, you got a lot of fast Canadians up there, I think, but it'd be nice to see a lot of U.S. riders up there, but the timing of it is kind of tough because you're 2 weeks out of Loretta's, I think it is, or whatever. Plus you have a lot of top riders that do the they had the youth championships at was it Belgium they had up there. So you had Alex Fry, riders like that, Jet Reynolds that were over there. So you're asking kind of a lot to get up there, but it's like I said, the track's that better is better than Loretta's as is. I mean, it just is. I mean, there's no sugarcoating that. It is way better, and if they had a track like that at Loretta's, like what they had at Walton, I mean, Loretta's. I think would be definitely a big step up. But that's a whole other story, I guess. But yeah, I think it's a race that should be, more U.S. riders should try. I mean, at least if you do bad at Loretta's, I mean, the media attention obviously at Walton is not as much as U.S. There's that. You still have the OEMs there. You still have Honda, Cowie, Yamaha. I don't know if Suzuki was there, but KTM, KTM was there, and they all have their big rig setups and stuff, so everyone's watching that race as well. Obviously, it's the Canadian, teams up, Canadian versions of the teams up there. So, but I think it's a race that should be seen more. I think, and it's it's been picking up steam, and they're seeing it too. Also keep in mind that this Transcan was a 23rd annual race. Well, Loretta's has run for 33 or 34 years now, I think it is. So, but for what that race is, it's doing really well, and hopefully more Americans show up for it. As far as the nationals go, I mean, as far as I haven't heard names, but it just seems like obviously riders that do not get rides, kind of just go up there and make it happen and to finish top 5, top 10, or try to win, and kind of had a random thought as far as maybe, if, like with Freddie Norton, if he doesn't have a ride next year at all, could he have a ride up there maybe? I don't know. So, like, riders like that probably don't have a spot here at home, they can, or back here in the U.S., they can get something like Josh Hill, for example, and those type of riders. I think that's the only riders you're going to see do that, but, the payout's not as great, obviously, so, but still. There is more interest. Let's just put it that way. I think with Alessi going up there, I think it showed more interest of U.S. guys going up there. I mean, Chisholm's doing the series up there, obviously, and Canary and Hill. And there's a lot of them. It seems like there's more and more that go up there now, and I think people like it just because it's such a laid-back atmosphere compared to U.S. where it's just so fast and so quick, and there's a lot more pressure and stress going on. So I think that's the determining factor for a lot of riders.
I think it'd be amazing if Loretta's did that, though, if they put a national at the tail end of the championship.
Well, you don't want to give the Coombs family too much of a heart attack because they got to go a lot through that with just that week, and then you throw a national at the end of it. I mean, but hey, location-wise, everything's there. So, but yeah, Loretta's is not a pro national track by far. So,
fair enough. Yeah,
that's kind of the one thing. But
neither is Utah.
Yeah, but just Loretta's. It's I don't know. I mean, we'll see down the road, I guess.
Like you'd be better served if maybe they moved Loretta's to something like a Red Bud or
well,
yeah.
I mean, Minio's runs at a used to be national track, so
yeah,
so you could do one there, but I don't think anyone's going to run a pro national in November, so.
And that place has gotten a lot better just from what I've seen in pictures as far as, the old break and wheel days when they had the national there. The dirt looks a lot better than it used to.
Yeah, it seems like it, yeah. It seems like it. There's still that white line that kind of pops up there, but on the top sections and stuff. But
The moon dust.
But at least that track that's been getting better from what I've seen. So, and they're making minor changes there and stuff. So that's good.
So
speaking of Utah, I think at the Indiana National it was announced that the series is going to end in Indiana next year too. So,
nice.
If you guys didn't know that, so
I actually did hear that today or something. I heard something somewhere. So yeah. I mean,
I forgot to mention that, but
yeah, no, that'll be interesting. I mean, why not? I mean,
it'll be it's going to be weird how they set the schedule up. I guess next year should be interesting.
What's the story with Utah? Is they going to be taken off the schedule or just moved?
I didn't hear anything, but I mean, after all the money and stuff that was put into that place, I mean, I would think that it's just getting moved, but
yeah.
Well,
you never know. Well, it would make more sense after one of the Cali rounds or something, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Even it's kind of. I mean, I remember I drove past it from Hangtown to Thunder Valley. Like you drive past, that's the road you go on to get by it. Yeah. So probably between Hangtown and Thunder Valley. That's my guess on that. So if I had, because I know this year travel wise it's been kind of wacky for compared to past years. So
yeah,
if Miller can have it on that early in the season like that, depending on their schedule, obviously that might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and weather there is probably even better that time.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they're in good shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it did snow there in April once.
All I know is that Utah has forest fires and sandstorms. That's all I know. So seems like that's what they have there.
And a lot of Mormons.
A lot of salt too, I heard. So
a little of everything.
I'll tell you what, driving that Bonneville soft flats on the way there, that was pretty straight. I don't know if you guys ever drove that road. I think that's 80, I think, out there, and it's just dead straight for I don't know how many miles, but it's interesting drive out there.
There's nothing. There's nothing for just miles and miles.
I've only been to Salt Lake City a couple times. That's about it for me in Utah.
Yeah, I drove that. Like I said, I drove through once, just going from Hangtown to Thunder Valley. That's the only time I've been through there, and it would for the series. I mean, if obviously Indiana's looks like to be the last round, I would say Utah be earlier. But I mean, does that make it worse for the rigs? You think? Because most of them are out of California, obviously, and they got to drive much more longer after the last round. But I guess that really don't matter either. So,
yeah. It's just a lot of riders are stationed back east now. I mean, it's a pretty even split now between Florida. Well, I guess not an even split, but a lot more of a split now than it used to be with riders out in Florida and Texas.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean,
yeah,
put it that way.
Yeah, but there's nothing else going on besides Utah this week. There's still no GP. We got the next GP not till September 3rd. So yeah, it's just all about It's all about Utah this week. And I just can't believe how fast this thing's gone by. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself in the off season. What are you up to in the off season, Matt?
Not sure yet. I've been I got a couple races I've been thinking about going, but I might take a few weeks off probably, and I've actually got some races in September. Actually, a couple Supermoto races I've been thinking about doing up in the East Coast. Cause that Supermoto series has kind of been growing, and it's more of I wouldn't say it's a test series right now, but it's at least building to at least it's obviously FIM, AMA, and I think the CMA up in Canada they all have their hands in the Supermoto Championship. So that series kind of been building. Actually, Blake Wharton raced it at Blue Diamond locally up here by me. That was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. So I mean,
yeah, how was that? That track looked pretty nice.
It was good. I mean, it was actually, if you've ever been to Blue Diamond, for anyone watching, basically it's on the amusement park parking lot there. So I mean, you have the amusement park. You basically, when you parked in the pits, you were parked next to all the rides and everything that used to be there. So, and it's the amusement park there is no longer running anymore, but You got like these tilt-a-whirls, things like that all around, and you park next to them, and things like that. So it was pretty cool there. And mostly an asphalt track. There was probably about I'd say about 80% asphalt, 20% dirt. And the dirt section was just a big sweeping corner, and then step up going up, and I think it was like 5 rollers or something like that. Then to like a step down table section, then an S turn, and then back on the concrete. So and from what I heard, that the jump was actually the step down table jump was like one of the biggest Supermoto guys have ever jumped. So it was so they got a little air there. So the track was good. Track was really good. So for what it was definitely built. I'd say last minute, but it was definitely kind of just been built up right away, and that's what it is. The 2 races I'm planning on doing, I think it's the last 2 rounds of the series. I think one's actually the one in mid-September. There's one that's at a go-kart track. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's go-kart track plus dirt section. That's what I think it's going to be.
We have one out here like that too. They run Supermoto on that's a go-kart track.
Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, to me, it's obviously be new to me, and I'm kind of interested in covering that. And then the last round's at Virginia International Raceway down in Richmond, so you had a full speedway there. So it seems to pick up some steam. I mean, obviously some riders trying it out. I know Johnny Lewis, professional flat track racer, he's been having his hand at trying to. He's actually a former factory Supermoto rider for KTM back in the Supermoto days when it was doing really well, but when it was hyped up pretty good. And so he's got his hand in the series now, really trying to, as far as seeing the track, help run the program, things like that. He's not really paid by them to do anything. He's just kind of he's really just want to make it work and make it happen. So.
Did it look like there was any OEM support out there or anything? Because like you said, it used to be huge, and now it went away. It's gone.
Yeah, you don't have that OEM support. No, not really. At Blue Diamond, it was just trailers and motorhomes. I mean, that was it, and it was not a huge crowd either. I think they ran some racing on Saturday before. I was only there for Sunday because Saturday was Unadilla, I remember. So, and still, I think it was I think it's. Hopefully it comes around, but hopefully, the coverage I do, things like that, and then putting the word out, hopefully we'll get more guys to throw some slicks on their bikes and see what happens. So
who put Blake on the bike? Or what was it, his, or I'm assuming someone put him on it?
Yeah, it was his, and it's his bike. I'm pretty sure of, but it's not like a race team or anything. I think it's pretty much just his own deal.
Yeah,
and I think he's doing the next 2 rounds. I think he's talked about maybe doing the next 2, but I think he's done like 3 races. He says, and they're just for him just to get sharp and just ride something because he's got nothing going right now. But he's still looking at Supercross next year, so he's still putting his name out there, try to get some a ride for next year. So
that was my next question. Nothing for him so far.
Didn't tell me anything as far as. Maybe a team here. Nope. He just says, well, hopefully, I'll put my name in the hat and hopefully race Supercross next year. He still wants to do it. He still wants to race Supercross. So, but hopefully he's got, super quick rider. Obviously, hopefully he'll find a spot there somewhere. So, but not maybe more Supermoto. I don't know.
or he'll rock out somewhere. I know he's got his band thing going. But yeah, he's one of the biggest surprises that. I mean, it's just kind of slowly fading away, and you don't see it happen that way too often.
Yeah, I mean, injury, kind of helped, put him in that direction. But still, it's a tough deal. Hopefully, he'll find something. Hopefully, he does. It's I mean, Supermoto, he's fine doing it. It just keeps him riding. That's what he said. Is it pretty much just keeps him riding competitively and. That's it. So, and hopefully he'll find something for next year.
What was crazy was like the year before that, like whenever he was with Rockstar Suzuki, like he won like a round or 2, and like the next year he didn't have anything for like ever. And then I think
Geico,
the Larry Brooks thing came up, and he was with them for like a couple weeks or something, and then the spot on Geico opened up, and he ended up going there, but. I mean, how strange for it to be somebody who the previous year, had won races and didn't have like anything for a pretty long time, and pretty much, I mean, just really didn't have a whole lot of time to prep for Supercross.
And he was hovering just off the podium in 14. I mean, he got 2 fourths out of the 4 rounds he raced, and I mean, he's right there. I mean, it's funny you bring up Larry Brooks. I hear he may be back in the game next year too with old Weston Pike. I don't know. I hear JGR now is a possibility too, but there was some really strong stuff that he was talking to Larry Brooks about getting a ride with him too, and that just with the whole Larry Brooks thing hasn't worked out for a couple of riders. So I just hope Weston ends up somewhere good.
Yeah, or it seems like Larry Brooks hasn't worked out for Larry Brooks sometimes. I don't know. It just seems like this, gets something going. It's just like kind of a bummer. So hopefully something goes with him and get something going.
He does tend to put the cart before the horse sometimes. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we got to talk about heading into Utah, guys? Other than what we've talked about so far.
Hopefully no sandstorms. hopefully we won't see Rice flying around. Just in the wind going.
Speaking of Rice, he's got a new hairdo. He got some new color.
I saw.
If anyone hasn't seen it, you can hop on our Instagram, and we post a picture up on there. I can't remember if we posted up on Twitter. Maybe we'll throw it up there. But
is that why he's
okay.
He lost a bet to some skaters or something. I don't know.
Is that what happened? I know I've seen the pictures and I'm like, okay, but I think he's had the blonde hair before, so it's nothing too crazy or new. But I gotta find out about this bet, see what happened, because
I don't remember exactly what the bet was, but I mean it was something to do with skateboarding, and he ended up winning the first one. The guy was like double or nothing, and I guess the guy ended up kind of kicking his ass that round. So I don't know
what
if
color
they were playing.
Go ahead. What color it was? What color is it?
It was like he like bleached it, but it almost like turned out like an orangish color.
That's what I was thinking. It looked like this hat.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And if you guys can imagine it, I did the same thing to my hair, but it was like 10 years ago or something. So I bleached it. I bleached it. It came out like that. So obviously I'm a little grayer now and whatever, but there was definitely a heavy orange look, and yeah, I was actually in the high school football team then, and got the whole nickname called the Rooster. That was my nickname. So it was
the Rooster.
Yep. That was my nickname in football because of my thing.
Hey, you do know it's Thursday. You could rock a throwback Thursday picture for us, Woz.
I do have a picture somewhere.
Woz, if you post it, I'll post one with my goat when it was orange. I tried to do my goat to white. It was orange.
I think it was. I have a picture actually. Yeah, I do remember. I have a picture. It's from like Baltimore Arena Cross one year, and I'll stand there like by Indian Harbor, and it's like a picture of me. Just and it's not like Rice has like the top of his hair. That's it. Mine was the entire thing was like that. So. Yeah, so I think it was. I'm not sure. It might have been just the top. I don't know. Or maybe I did like a spiked bleach type thing. I don't know. It was the 90s. So.
How many ladies did you pull with that?
I'd say what was it? Negative something.
We got Tomac, Short, and Pike battling for 5th. That's Tomac's, obviously. Trying to look and see if there's any battles here, milestones. I mean, Noren and Reed, that's a battle we didn't think would happen. They're battling to get inside the top 10 and like some top 10 bonus money. They're literally 1 point apart. I think, and that's going to be a battle. I think you got to give the nod to Noren the way he's been riding, but Reed did get 6th last week. I don't know.
I don't know. Do they really care? I mean, well, Freddie probably cares more than Reed.
Freddie does, yeah.
Yeah. Reed's probably like, just the way the season's gone. Obviously doing well last weekend, but he's probably thinking he's a guy that should win titles, not barely make a top 10. So
yeah. So. But for Noren, though, I think it's big, and there's probably a little bonus money in there, a little purse money.
Maybe.
I know at Supercross there is.
Yeah, I have no clue as far as nationals. I know they're in the I did the banquet videos last year for the nationals that it was top 10 riders got in the video, so you get in that and you get awards, I think, things like that. So and all that.
Do we see James this weekend?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I'm gonna say no, and Fasciotti filling in for Malcolm. So that's.
Yeah, I was gonna say we forgot to talk about that.
I really didn't hear anything up there about it. I really didn't even question it either. I'm busy hitting record all day, so I didn't think much about that. But I mean, it seems like a good fit. I mean, the rides for Troy Lee, and it's like, and the rig he's out of, it's a Go for Dunes Honda rig or whatever. It looks just like the Lucas Oil like Troy Lee rig in the States. Like it was like just rig comparison wise, it seemed like a really good fit there. And and Colton's super nice guy and everything, and 4-time Canadian champ. Why not? Why not have him get in the mix there and see what he can do? And I think his speed though, he's not. I think Alessi's I believe faster than Fasciotti as far as it goes.
He has this year.
But I'd say Fasciotti is he could probably get top 10. I'd say.
Yeah. I put 8 to 12, 8 to 14 in that range. Anywhere in that range, I think I wouldn't be surprised. I think anything above 8th or something is like an incredible ride by the guy, or a great ride. But who knows? If it rains, he could be anywhere. But doesn't he run Troy Lee Design gear on that Go for Dunes team?
Yes. Yep. He does. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that's. I know those guys. Those Go for Dunes guys are cool. Derek Schuster.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I mean it seems like a good team up there, definitely. So and it just seemed like just a match. Obviously Malcolm being from wherever he had it, the dehydration he had it was Spring Creek, I think he had it, and and to now, I mean it seems like a good fit for him to get involved. And I didn't have no thought of that up in Canada until obviously I started hearing about it a little bit when I got back home. I was like, it makes sense.
It sounded like it was kind of a late decision, though. So I think that there was like talks of him going, and then they kind of fell off, and then the whole Malcolm, maybe kind of the last minute ended up deciding not to, maybe race or something. So it just opened up the spot.
Yeah, because I heard that he wasn't. I think I heard at Canada like he wasn't doing the Utah, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Won the Canadian National, enjoy yourself, things like that. So, But just it's interesting.
I wonder what's going on with the whole Malcolm James and and everything. I mean, I pretty much know what's going on with James. He's just bowing out when all this stuff with the drug testing is going on. But I'm wondering what's really going on with Malcolm.
Yep,
how dehydrated could he have been? I mean, at this point, I'm sure he's got.
That's the word that's associated with him going around. So I'm sticking. I'm not sticking with it, but that's what's sticking with his name the past month or so. But
that was the last press release. Yeah.
Right, or last whatever breaking news, whatever it could be out there. So just I don't know. Give him the off season to figure it out, and that's it. Just kind of a bummer how that how the summers went for both of them. So
is James an A1?
I don't know.
I hope so, but I don't know.
Or does he race Monster Cup probably?
I think so, yeah. I think Monster Cup and Red Bull Straight Rhythm we'll see him at. They're both not sanctioned.
Yeah, so there's that too. I mean, but yeah, A1, I
don't think so. Yeah.
Kind of early to tell, but not too bad to think about now.
Yeah.
We haven't even heard how long the suspension is, did we? Or
no. I mean, there's like 2 years. There's rumors of 1 year. I have no idea. I'm sure Matt knows, but he won't tell us.
I don't know shit.
I'm sure they know up in Canada.
I don't know. No, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. They probably won't even care. They're just like, fuck it, hey, well, whatever.
That's where James ends up next year. Canada.
Oh, yeah. CM or C up there's gonna lose our freaking mind if James goes up there.
That would be.
Well, it's just the whole migration up north. It's like Canadian geese just all swarm up there to start doing Canadian rails. I mean, well, look. I mean, even for privateer guys, that maybe outside top 20 and stuff.
Yeah.
They can get a top 10 finish up there. There's a good chance they can get a top 10. Pretty, not easily, but, definitely got a shot up there. So,
yeah.
I mean, and then qualifying, like I said, Walton's the biggest round. Walton is the premier round. It's the final round. And there were I think it was like 43 or 44, 46, something like that in MX1, and there was like 36 in the MX2. So, you know, in the U.S., you have like, 80, 90 to qualify for each class, seems like. So, I don't know. Again, I like to see more up there because they, you know, it's like American, for me going up there, it was like it was so laid back. I was like, wow, we got all right. Like between motos, like I said, it was 20-minute breaks between motos. I'm like, this is nice. It was a nice break, and then go back right into it. Another, 30-minute, 35-minute moto, whatever it is they run up there. And I mean, for a U.S. rider, it's like this is like almost like vacation almost. It's like it's nicely ran up there, and it's I'm surprised if people get tired of the U.S. series, do Canada because you have to get passport, travels a little farther, but as far as you get that after you get all that covered, dude, it's such a laid back deal up there. It's I mean, you don't want to take. I mean, obviously, you take advantage of everything you can up there, but again, you don't have live TV to worry about. You don't have things like that. So, but I know the series has grown up. It's grown up there from what they've seen and what I've heard, from the past week and stuff. So it's cool. So I don't know. I see Rice shared a picture with us.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, I have not even talked about his hair, so I'm just like.
What, did he share a picture?
Yeah, I think he tagged you in it too, on Twitter. So we'll see, and Utah this weekend, and like I said, Dan, I think nothing else as far as I know. I'm not doing anything this weekend, so.
All right.
I think that's good.
You cover. I want to see this picture though. I can't. It won't come up on my desktop. I have to go to my laptop. It's saying my desktop saying there's a virus attached to it.
A new desktop there.
Yeah, probably. It's running Windows XP.
I don't know if you can see that, but our viewers can see it maybe.
That's awesome. Nice, Matty. It actually doesn't look that bad at him. If I didn't know, I wouldn't know he lost a bet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like maybe he did something to it because I thought it looked a little bit worse on Saturday, but he had a hat on too, so. I don't know. Well, he was, he threw his hat on because he was trying to cover it up, so he was running it pretty low.
Yep. Just checking the comments here on YouTube, and we got a Jack Jr. out there that's told us to say something in this video. Please, in caps. Go Ryan Dungey, number 5. There you go. To all the world out there, go Ryan Dungey, yes.
Go Ryan Dungey.
I don't know. Well, it's Kenny as much as he can because it's a Kenny show. Should be interesting. And the guy who commented first, whatever. You went a high five, I guess.
Did he write first?
Yeah, he wrote cool first. So.
Dude, I wonder if those guys go from blog to blog to blog to blog to blog.
Oh, even even my Instagram I see first all the time, and I'm just like, and what do you want from me? You want an internet high five, or I don't know. Yeah, I know it's fun. They feel like they're the first one. And, I mean, with my Instagram feed, how it is, they're probably second or third anyway. So, but because by the time you write first, there's someone's probably gonna like it right before that. So, I don't know. The social media wars that go on, it's always interesting and sometimes chaotic.
Oh yeah.
Also, I want to give a little shout out to Pablo Fitness, by the way. So, I've been on a spin bike routine lately. So. Yeah, get me on the program. So same guy that trains James Stewart. So.
And Ronnie Stewart.
And Ronnie Stewart, yes. And and also I should probably say this is Utah related. Making his first pro national, Franklin Nogueras at Dominican Republic, first national this weekend at Utah. So running the 978, 987. I forgot. It's one of those numbers in that order. And on Suzuki, so first national for him, and he's a probably pretty much top upcoming rider from Dominican Republic right now. Won the MX Day Championship down in St. Martin that I covered a couple years ago. I'm gonna say this, a hell of a salsa dancer. I'll take that. I've seen it. He can do all that. So maybe he'll bust the move out on the podium if he does get on it. But yeah, he's top 10 finish at Loretta's, I think, in the A classes. So but yeah, he's
cool. And
Pablo, also Dominican rider as well. They're working together. Actually, I went up to Pablo's studio, I guess you could say, up there, training studio up there. He had Kyle Cunningham was up there too, actually doing some training as well. So there's a bunch of pro riders that just get in the mix up there and get in there. And we did actually the VO2 test, which is basically they put a mask on you while you're on the mountain, while you're on a spin bike, and they basically just check your heart rate, test your heart rate, things like that. And so actually I did that too, and it's like it's basically you're on a bike and it's like you feel like Bane the entire time. You're just like you're just like breathing.
Wait, how'd you compare?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
I actually did not bad. Actually, I mean, for as media guy as I am, I actually did not that bad from what they said. So
good deal. Good deal.
I mean, actually, Kyle Cunningham saw me do the test and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, it's not bad." I'm like, "Yeah, for not in shape media guy, yeah, I guess so." But no, yeah, actually, yeah, I did some. I've been doing spin stuff now. It's been almost a week now. I've been doing it, so it's been trying to get in this shape stuff because I'm getting in shape and getting ready for Loretta Lynn 2016. So
you're still playing a lot of mad skills in this stuff, though, so that's not helping your program because I've been trying to catch you.
That's the mad skills thing. That is late at night while in bed sleeping. That's when I do it. I don't even do it during the day 'cause I got other stuff going on during the day. So that's late at night, just like half asleep, like all right, and then I obviously get addicted to it. And
so you're smoking me while you're half asleep, basically.
Yeah, if I want to do some shit talking, yeah, I am. No, it's I don't know. Well, there's actually, I'm kind of in a the reason I'm kind of doing that, doing the math. I mean, I've done the first version too and everything, but I've done is they have the second version now, which they do it by state now. I'm trying to be the first in Delaware, and Delaware's nicknamed the first state, so I'm trying to be the first in the first state. And I've been like second and third a lot. I've been first a few times, so I'm trying. There's a couple of guys I know that are like right in the mix from Delaware. I'm trying to get in there, so.
Dude, it sucks being here because I'm just trying to beat my friends on Facebook, and I've got like the fastest friends in the world. They're always like top 10 in the world, and I'm like 13th each week now. So I'm getting there. I've broken to the top 10 a few times. So, but I'm still only level 4, so I got a ways to go.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I will catch you.
Well,
I battled you literally for an hour and a half last night.
Really? It was good. It was a good battle.
I was trying to improve from last week's jam. I couldn't beat you though.
It's I don't know. After a long day of video work and whatever, phones, emails, things like that, it's good at least to do that. But no, that's good. And but yeah, I've been on this little training regimen. I'm calling Loretta in 2016 because maybe I turned 30 in late next year, so 2016 I would be good. So for 30 BC class, so I'll start now, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, I like Pablo. That dude's pretty cool. I've ran into him a couple times this year.
Yeah, he's awesome. I've known him for years. I've known him, I mean, when I was racing up in upstate New York when I was first started racing, I mean, I remember him, and I've known him definitely over like dozen or so years right now. So we go way back, and he's been just been kind of want to get into shape a little bit, and he's been a big help on that. So big props to him. So
Yeah, seemed like just a nice guy. I mean, every time I walk by him or whatever, always saying, hey, what's up, or chit chat for a minute or two. But I mean, I still think that stuff's cool whenever people take their time out of their day and shoot the shit with you for a minute. So
yeah, he's that type of guy. And really don't care. He's good with everybody, and his spin class in New York City does really well. He's in the Upper East Side, I think it is, where he's at. And he's got spin classes that get booked all the time, and he's doing well with that, he's top notch.
Good deal. Well, should we wrap this up or?
Well, we've been what? We're an hour and a half, so sounds about the right time to go. So, but yeah, anything else to add, guys? That's it.
Nope.
I think that's it.
Good. It's almost 11 o'clock back at the East Coast here, so.
Show next week, maybe after the season's over. Season wrap-up show.
Yes. I will be here. Well, don't put me to it yet, but I want to be here. I want to be here Thursday, but it may not happen. But
some point we'll do a season wrap-up.
Yes. Well, we'll do something. I hope Thursday, yes. I hope Thursday. If not, there's a race I'm thinking about going to next weekend, and it's still on ice right now, so I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, we'll try for Thursday. If not, we'll try after, and we'll have a system worked out, too, for hopefully, because with these shows, guys, to give you a heads up, I do the shows right directly from where I'm at, so I have to be here and do the show and everything. So hopefully, for upcoming shows, we can have just instead of just me running the show and hitting the play button, hitting the record button, things like that, we can have Dan and Chase or even Rice kind of do that. So we'll have that figured out. So we'll have a show every Thursday, and we'll get to work that. Hopefully, if this race doesn't happen to me for next week, I can definitely start working on that and get that going. So you guys got your heads up on that. So, but besides that, but yeah. That'll do it for this edition of the MX Roundtable, everybody. Make sure you also, right at the end of the show, check out our sites. MotoXAddicts got a lot going on over there, as always. Dan, anything to plug out with the MotoXAddicts deal, or what you guys got going on? Or?
No, we're good, man. Everything, same old.
Good, awesome.
I did a job at getting interviews this week, so sorry guys.
Man, we're the place. If you need something, you know what's going on today. We're the place to be. If there's an event, come here. We'll have your results. We might not have the interview one week when Chase wants to duck out with mud, but I don't blame the guy. It was muddy.
It was a rough one.
Cool deal. Yeah. So check out MotoXAddicts as well, and also check out MXPTV.com. Still got stuff from Canada going up. Actually, going up tomorrow. We'll give you the pro highlight video from Walton on Sunday, so that'll be up. Be a good chance to see how the track turned out, things like that. And like I said, got some Supermotos coming up, and always check the schedule on MXPTV.com for any of the races that we're doing and coming up and all that. So, but yeah, that should do it, guys. Right? We're good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully tune in next week. I am hoping, but. Hopefully tune in next Thursday for another edition of the MX Roundtable. So, see you guys.
See ya.